going on? This is DJ Loot taking another break from studio work. Came to William Land Park here in Sac to sit down with hip-hop artist and author and longtime friend Woon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you do some other stuff too. What do you have going on lately?
Man, on top of what you just now said, like, you know, I do I got a podcast. I do like voiceovers. I scream, play, like, you know, like I act. I do like a whole bunch of different stuff. So whatever hat I'm wearing that day is however I'm feeling, that's what I'm finna tap into. But everybody, you know, they know. Well, what's good though, Lou? How you feeling?
Stress, exhausted all the time. It's go, go, go. But I'd rather be that than lazy and not getting things done, right? So sacrifice a little bit of sleep to get things done. Coming out here to get a few questions in with you. And look, you drove this. Look at this thing. Okay, this is what year?
That's a 2028, man. I'm futuristic, man. That's yeah. That's a 2020. Like for everybody who know, like people who know Corvettes, the Corvette people know. Like, you know what I mean? But
which I don't, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I can tell
that.
somebody, it's nice. To 2030, like, you know what I mean? They still gonna be like, yeah, it's nice, like, you know what I mean?
No, it is. And then with this guy, okay, so folks usually have like a name. What does she have a name? Like
Hefty Smurf.
Okay.
Hefty Smurf, big thing.
I like it. Well, let's get straight to it.
Shit, that's the first question?
It is.
Drill music, man. I believe that a form of drill music has always been out throughout the duration of hip hop. Like, you know what I mean? Just when people telling their stories and experiences and stuff like that, or maybe even they were just telling the story of the streets. And I think that throughout the different generations that it's just amped up and amped up and amped up. So now it's just like, you know, the youngsters is going straight to it. Me personally, I feel like when it comes down to, you know, talking about something that you really did really in the streets and it's unsolved or something like that, and you ultimately, you know, bring an attention that you probably don't want to deal with in the long run. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I also do respect the ones who actually are really talking about their real life, because there's people who make quote unquote drill music, but they ain't it's not even their real life. They're just doing it because it's the hype. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. A trend, so they're just trying to ride the.
Yeah, it be trendy, so it's just like you know what I mean. And with me personally, it's just like, you know, and you know, I come from the streets. I come from the background. Like, people can't see, but I got like the homies up here and shit. But when it comes down to that, it's just like. They just gonna do it anyway.
No worries, hey.
But you know, it's just like I don't necessarily put none of that in my music. I'm not a drill rapper, like, you know what I mean. But can I talk about some street shit? Have I been into some street shit? Of course, like, you know what I mean. Everybody kind of like know I'm from Valley High, like, you know what I mean. And it's a different breed of people, like, you know what I mean. We a small hood, but still, like, you know, you got to be turned up when you come from my hood and shit. You feel me? But I'm saying, like, but I'm not into that drill rap scene because, you know, that's not my age, that's not my era, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So no disrespect to nobody who does drill music, but at the same time, it's just like, you know, I try to keep my shit motivational. I try to keep it player. I try to keep it like, you know, get out and get something, like, you know what I mean? Because we done been through that, and we're not feeding that into the young. Like, there's too many different people with too many different things that's going on. So it's just like, if they want to do that, okay, yeah. So that means that gives me the avenue to do something else. Like, you know what I mean? And shout out to, and I have to say this real quick, shout out to my boy Smig, because Smig knew me like since we was young and shit, you feel me? And Smig kind of gave me my props. He was like, man, Woon could rap about a whole lot of street shit, but he don't. That's the easiest thing to do. Like, you know what I mean? And he's just like, Woon don't do that. He takes the artist route. Like, you know what I mean? When he can get on the bandwagon of doing the drill music and all the shit, you feel me? So I just try to keep it straight to me, straight to my life.
Well, it's just authenticity. You are known to be just straight, authentic. You're you. And if people don't like it, then that's their problem.
Gotta be.
I'm all about staying true to what your formula is. You don't have to bend to cater to anybody. You're right.
That's a fact. Again, it's kind of like with the drill music and shit, right? There's a lot of people who are utilizing AI. And you know, if it's for promotional purposes, then it's good. Like, you know what I mean? But you get people that got like fake cars in their videos, fake money, fake females. And there's no disrespect. Again, there's no disrespect to nobody, but when people see that, some AI is so good right now that you think that that's their real shit. Like, you know what I mean? To where it's just like you know, and if it is like, because that's in my mind, that's kind of like a form of faking it to make it. So it's just like, okay, I see what that is. So again, it's no disrespect to nobody, but there's some AI videos to where they'll morph into something else to where okay, that's AI, to where it's AI. Like, you know what I mean? And even some movies is AI. Like, you know what I mean? So when it comes down to that, allow people to have their artistic creativity, but authenticity is a thing. And with this AI coming in, it's just like, well, is authenticity going to be a thing in the future, or is everything going to be AI? Like, you know what I mean?
And it's getting very good. Then you have kind of the dangerous aspect of it. You could make anybody say anything.
Facts.
World leaders said you could start getting wars with it. Who knows?
Man,
but now it can be used as a tool as well. For instance, and this is where I will never have AI make a beat and say I made a beat. Even if it's my idea, I will never do that. But what I have done, well, hip-hop was originated with people sampling records and breaks and doing all. And then, so I'll just have AI make something. I'm still chopping something up and adding my own sound. So, I'm not going to get in legal trouble from Gap Band for sampling them. It'll just make a Gap Band-like song. And then
that's true.
That's a way to use it as a tool. Majority of my beats are fresh composed, but that's one way to use it as a tool.
Yeah, but see, not to cut you off, but at the same time, because I'm looking at it because, you know, just like I said, I'm in film too, and I do things like that. So it's just like, imagine if everybody starts to use this AI technology. Photographers, like, you know, everybody who's into, like, you know, photographers, they're out of business.
Me too.
Like, you know what I mean? People that make flyers are out of business. People that do film is out of business. People that are recording songs, studios, all that, you're putting the authenticity, like that, you're putting everybody out of business. So it's just like, and I get it, just like, you know, for the people who can't afford to, you know, maybe go to the studio, like, you know what I mean? But it's just crazy because you're supposed to be able to invest in yourself, like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But if you can't do that, it's just like, okay, well, what does that look like? But at the end of the day, it's just like, it's kind of like how technology is taking over certain jobs and shit. You feel me? It's just like, okay, so me, and I'm looking at myself, I just now, this whole time I've been in Sacramento, like, I've been cashing out for videos, I've been cashing out for studio time, I've been cashing out for this, when it seems like I'm looking around and I'm the foolish one. Like, hey, I'm the only one that's still, you know what I mean, authentic with, like, you know what I mean? But I'm not knocking it, but I like to keep things as authentic as possible. And if I'm behind the times on not using AI, then that's just what it is.
I'm going to stick with use it limited as a tool to enhance something that is still your creative thing. But as far as it maybe replacing jobs and careers and stuff, that's the scary side.
Facts.
So
people work hard, man. Like, again, I know you know because you're in that business. Like, you know what I mean? So people work hard for this shit. Good question. And I kind of like touched it a little bit earlier. So the message for me would be to tap in with yourself, right? And be your authentic self, and then strive for more. Cause just like I said, I could be out here just like on some drill, you know what I mean? Hurry up and die type music, like, you know what I mean? Or hurry up and go to jail. But it's just like, well, who's that serving? Like, you know what I mean? So for me, I could tell stories. It's just like, okay, I may have came from that lifestyle or that background or whatever, but it's all about elevation. That's why, you know, I am is knowing yourself. The up gang is elevation. Like, you know what I mean? So that's how that breaks down. A lot of people don't know that because some people just see it. Some people know what the up gang is. It's just like, okay, up, okay, gang, okay, I get it. But the I am is a smaller one. So, but it's just like, that's what comes first. You have to know yourself. And then when you know yourself, everything is just like elevated from there. So for me, it's just like, get in tune with yourself and make sure that you're trying to strive for more. Life is all about elevation and evolution, right? So it's just like, if you're not elevating, if you're not evolving, then what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, for me, just like I said, I got feel good music, I got hustle music, I got, you know, songs for the females to come empower them, like, or invigorate the females, like, you know what I mean? Or for the people who came up from nowhere and then they're trying to strive to get somewhere, like, cause for whatever reason, people look at me as that because I set myself up for that. So I'm staying true to what that looks like. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not deviating just to serve you know, whatever trend is going on this shit right now. Like, you know what I mean? So my point would be to stick to yourself, when I say stick to yourself, I'm sorry, stick to your true self, and then also just be authentic, and then just try to be positive, because you never know who else is watching you that may be going through something that you can influence. Like, you know what I mean? Top 3 albums. One that sticks out for sure is the Machiavelli. I'm a big Pac fan, like, you know what I mean? So that,
I've known that forever, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So the Machiavelli album, and of course, you know, I was listening to it when I was younger, but as I got older, it started to resonate with me more. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, okay, so he was tapped into different frequencies, and Pac is a Gemini, I'm a Gemini, like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, just that whole, you got to tell both sides of the story. Just like I said, not being just in one space, you have to be able to tell the sides of the story and, you know, express yourself. But so that album to me is dope. It's non-skip. I'm playing that album all the way through. The second one, and this is something different, and I know people probably don't even care to listen to it, but the soundtrack to The Last Dragon, hit after hit after hit. And that's where I'm at physically, mentally, spiritually. That's where I'm at with that. So it's just like how they did the movie just in general is dope. But then when it came down to how they, you know, the soundtrack, you know, is a tone for the movie and shit. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, but when you listen to the soundtrack, I work out and listen to that soundtrack.
Okay.
So it's just like pretty dope. But, you know, not to go too far, but it's just for the people who watching, listen to the Last Dragon movie soundtrack, lit.
Which is something I would have to do. I've seen it a long time ago, only once, but okay, something to pursue.
And going back to, you know, Bruce Leroy in a movie saying the I am, and I got the I am on my, it's all connected, right? Mm-hmm. The third one, and again, it's gonna have to be a soundtrack, is the Cooley High soundtrack, right?
All right.
Yeah, so, and again, like, I'm telling my age right now, but that it's like a timeless classic movie, like, you know what I mean? But that's another movie that has a soundtrack that just captures, you know, just the times, like, you know what I mean? And I believe who's behind that? Motown was behind that whole soundtrack, because it's a Motown movie, like, you know what I mean? So they have just songs that make you feel like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just listen to that when I'm in my own personal time and I'm meditating and doing shit like that. So yeah, it's lit.
Good choices.
Yeah.
Especially that first one though.
Yeah. No, for sure. So I kind of just now named them. So
okay.
Oh wait. But the first one I do have to say that was an introduction to hip hop was Breaking, the original Breaking One, like, you know what I mean? And that just introduced me to the whole culture of hip hop, you know, all the elements of what that is. And as a kid, like, I still watch that movie to this day, like, you know what I mean? And it just resonates with me. So that's one for sure. The Last Dragon, I have to put that in there, because just like I said, like, I watched that movie as a kid and I knew it was a dope movie because, like, just based on the fact that they had like one of the first black superheroes and shit. But then it's just like, okay. But then when I got older, I'm like, no, they're talking on some metaphysical I am shit, like, you know what I mean? And, and me coming into that on my own, and then seeing that the movie mirrored what that is just like, that movie's lit, like, you know what I mean? What was that? Was that 2? Did we say top 3? What'd you say?
Top 3.
Top 3?
Yeah, that's good.
Man, that's gonna have to be a toss-up. I probably have to say, probably, 3. I probably have to say Panther, the movie Panther. I'm gonna say Panther. And again, a lot of people don't know about the movie Panther, right? Dropped in '96. All-star cast, again, with that, with the soundtrack for that movie, super lit. Everything was like, you know, it was what it was. But I'm like, okay. But I didn't know about the Black Panther Party or the Black Panther movement of the 60s, like, you know what I mean, until I saw the movie. But then when I saw the movie, I still didn't understand what it was about. Fast forward later in my life, and I started to realize, okay, this is what this is, like, you know what I mean? And I was studying it. And I also have a song called Black is Beautiful, and I wanted to shoot that in West Oakland to where the Panthers started, like, you know what I mean? So I actually shot it out there, like, you know what I mean? And the people from, I don't know nobody in West Oakland, but the people was receptive. They allowed us to film out there, and it was like a dope experience. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, Panther for sure.
When did you do that? Was I living there
Nah, it's like right before you. It's like right before you moved out there. Yeah. This was like I think that shit was like 2017, something like that. Yeah, like 2017.
Well, I moved there I was there in 16 and 17 though.
Oh, so you was already out there.
Summer of 2016, and then 2018 we moved to Castro Valley.
Castro Valley. Okay, you all remember coming out there and messing with you, but
oh yeah.
So it might have. If it wasn't 17, it was 18. Yeah.
Possible. Okay.
Yeah.
But around that time, so
sure.
that was a great experience. Waking up and just. There's the buildings in downtown Oakland.
Man,
getting to know Mr. Fab and going down to Dope Air and all that.
Facts.
Other stories for other days. But
facts, yeah, hell yeah.
Great movie selection.
Khalil, and I don't want to chop up the last name, but Khalil Jabard, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. But he put out a book called The Prophet. And that book is so dope because it's just for everybody who knows what I'm referring to, it's just like one of those self tapped in. But that's the energy that I'm in right now. And just like I said, like when I put myself into that space and things start coming to me in my circumference, like, you know what I mean. So came across that and it was one of the books that's just like, if you have any confusion about why life is going how it's supposed to be going, or you feel like it's not supposed to be going that way, then there's an answer. And ultimately it's just saying, be able to tap in with yourself, accept things as they are, and let everything else go. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? So it's a prophecy to let you know to let things go, and then you're gonna come in like it's dope. But that's one. And then I got another one which people probably don't know, but it's called the Initiates of the Flame. And it's on that same type of time, just initiating yourself and the flame, the inner flame, and the inner glow within your, like, I don't know, like it's different, but Initiates of the Flame for sure. And I'd probably say the last book would have to be mine, to be honest, my very first children's book that I did, called Go Out and Play. And the reason I'm not saying that because it's my book, but it's just like, when I was writing that book, it's a children's book, but at the same time it's like for adults as well, because it's like telling you go outside and play, meaning go, like, come outside of yourself and be able to express yourself and be able to have fun and live life and everything like that. So when it comes down to that type of time, it's just like, again, it's a kid's book, but sometimes kids' books have adult messages, like, you know what I mean? So for that, I think that was received well. It was my first one. It was a book that I had turned from a poem into a book, because I was going back and forth with my homegirl, and she was like, "Who wrote that?" And we was already going back and forth with poems and shit, and I was just like, "I wrote that." Okay. And then she was like, "For real?" And then, but how she said it made me stop and pause, and then I deconstructed it and rewrote it, and then I put it out as a book, like, you know what I mean? Right. So, and that was a kickoff to the series of the books that I did. So yeah, I would have to put myself
How many have you written?
I got 5 out right now.
Basically everywhere
that you can find a book, it's out. So so Barnes and Nobles, Books A Million, Amazon, or you can get them from me directly, like, you know what I mean. So, and I'm gonna get my whatever at the end. So
certainly, yes,
for sure.
Slide.
For me, slide, especially in 2026, slide can mean 1,000 things. But for me, it's just like, okay, pull up. Like, you know what I mean? I'm finna slide through. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, for sure.
Immune.
Man, you said I'll be trying not to use profanity, but immune, I'm deterrent to the sucker stuff. I don't deal with that. Keep that over there. So, you know what I mean?
Potential.
And I look at that as a everybody has it, but you have to tap in to your own potential to let everybody know. So hell yeah, everybody got it. Motivation.
Indoor.
Weed. Can I say that on here?
Yeah.
Better than outdoor.
Fashion.
Me. I have to say, hey, you want to know what? And I put out a thing, and I say, this ain't a cuss word, but Valley High niggas is fly niggas, like, you know what I mean? But when I was younger, I took a theater's arts class, and so we had to do everything that was about, entertainment and stuff like that, and fashion was one of the things that we had to do. We had to put on the whole fashion show and everything, and that kind of like opened up my mind to where it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, so I love fashion. I'm not saying that it has to be designer. I'm not saying that it has to be expensive. I'm just saying, like, you know, if you know how to put it together, you got the eye to say this matches with that, the coordination, everything go, you fashionable. Like, it's lit.
We'll do one more. And then I've been saying whatever the after 5 hits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Appeal. There we go.
Appeal. Intriguing. Energy, energetic, like, you know what I mean? So if you got that energy that you're putting out there, it's going to appeal to the people who are looking for that energy. Yeah, so I'm gonna say just energy, like, you know what I mean?
I dig it. Where can folks find all things Woon related? Hit them with the links, maybe some projects they need to be looking out for.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Whatever needs to be mentioned, so folks pursue.
I got you. So I got a project out, one of my first whole projects out there with DJ Fresh called Music is Life is Music.
Yep.
That's out, you know, all streaming platforms or whatever. And then I just now dropped one, I believe it was last year, with DJ Lionhead called Life is Music is Life. And that's the streaming everywhere. So right now I'm working with my boy Ruka Lottie, and it's called Legacy. Like, you know what I mean? So y'all could look forward to that. It should be out this year for sure. I was putting in the time to drop it earlier, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to make sure that I'm calling it Legacy, so it has to be. I can't have just anything on there, like, you know what I mean? But Legacy for sure. You can hit me up via email. That is Woon. What's my shit? No, my email is Lawan Terrell, or L.A. Terrell, LATERRELL 526 at Yahoo. My Insta is Mr. Woon 916. That's MR.WOON 916. And everything else you gonna find me. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it's been great sitting down with you. It's way long overdue. We'll try to fit in that session before you take off back to Vegas.
Yeah.
This thing back here is beautiful.
Damn. Oh yeah. That's a baby, man. That's the, you know, fashion.
Also, of course, I always have to plug myself at the end. Go to djloot.biz so you can check out if you need beats, recording, mixing, mastering, any session work. If you want to be interviewed with one of these sit-down break time videos, or my radio show, Happy Hour with DJ Loot, which is on OzCat in Vallejo. So, you want to get some folks over here?
Yeah, let me
let's finish how I always finish off with the
Oh yeah, with the
bam.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll get everybody over here.
So, you know, again, man, birthday weekend, Memorial Day weekend, but we also out here, you know, for my homie Lil 6. You understand me? So I got the homies with me, and we put together this dope event, barbecue. Everybody's out here. The love is great. And just like I said, like, everybody, you know, kind of know that I have a street background, and these are, you know, the fam. Like, you know what I mean? We call each other gang, whatever, but this is the fam right here and shit. You feel me? So for everybody who's looking around, everybody's moving, everybody got some type of motion. So we're always about elevating this shit. We still on some, you know, smooth shit, like, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, there's a fam right here, nothing but love. And Valley High, niggas is fly niggas. We outside, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. My niggas tell me what